Good morning, mares and genticles, and welcome back to Hoofington Channel 1 News, which after a public poll which we won by default, are now officially the greatest and only news station in Hoofington. Now let's move on to our first story tonight, cutie marks. They are the sign of growing up, they make us unique and destine our future careers, and really cool tattoos your parents can't stop you from getting. But sometimes, a pony gets a cutie mark that's nothing but trouble, which we all learned when a local filly by the name of Arsoned got her cutie mark. And, as I believe the youth would say, it is lit. Now, how does one get a cutie mark like this? Well, this filly got hers when she attempted to burn down the town hall. She was caught in the act and the fire was snuffed out before any real harm was done. But now the question on every pony's mind is, what is this filly's future going to be? Well, the famous, or perhaps infamous, cutie mark crusaders, better known as the CMC, have been called down to deal with the situation. While they've refused to give an official statement, a founding member, Scootaloo, has gone off record to say, "We've dealt with worse," which lets us all breathe a sigh of relief, for we know no matter how bad things get here, Ponyville is more of a mess. Many questions are still yet to be answered, though. Should this filly be punished? Why did her parents name her Arson? Why is the sky blue? And many more. But for now, police have been refraining from giving up too much information, especially about the parents of the child, which they have been keeping anonymous by not revealing names or how terrible parents they actually are. But evident from the story, we can easily speculate that they're about a 9 out of 10. In royal affairs, alicorns, the winged and horned sky gods who rule over all of Equestria, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, you better keep it to yourself, as you might be banished to the moon. Now, to become an alicorn is such a hard and impossible achievement, or in some cases, a very, very lucky occurrence by being born one, because apparently that happened. In fact, like 7 years ago, there was only like one, and since then, the numbers have just been growing exponentially, so who knows, your chances may be better than they seem. But what would you do if you became an alicorn? Now, would you like to know what Twilight Sparkle's first act as princess was? Well, Twilight Sparkle, now being called Princess of Censorship, as on her first week with royal status, she passed a law banning the use of imagery, discussion, and even reference in public mediums such as newspapers or television of, you guessed it, quesadillas? Yes, the cheesy meal that has never been previously talked about on any news outlet in recent history, and not even that popular of a food, was banned for 4 years. The silliest part about this story is that the princess chose to censor quesadillas instead of something else that both involves her, and really should be censored. This law was of course redacted the moment Celestia found out. Twilight claims that she did this as she has a fear of said food product, and wanted to make sure she would not have to see it in the media by accident. Well, princess, we're very sorry that this is all any pony will be talking about for the next week, but we'll be sure to keep you posted. Tonight's local news, Hoofington Founding Day Anniversary Parade of Pride and Glory, will be starting tomorrow morning. This, of course, being the greatest yearly parade in Hoofington, every pony is very excited. Children are preparing costumes for the official citywide costume contest. Builders are doing the last checks on floats that will be rowed down the streets, and hundreds of parents are preparing their favorite food to add to the Bring Food, Take Food buffet in this town center, which will also be featuring traditional baked meals from Hoofington's greatest celebrity chefs, such as Papa's Spice, Riggedy Riggedy Relish, and the Plater Gator. They will be cooking a variety of traditional soups, fried vegetables, and this year only, quesadillas. It indeed is going to be a magical day. Our next story is one that teaches the lesson, be careful what you say, as last week a virus hit the livestock of Hoofington's farms, and the newly discovered disease known as swine flu causes pigs, boars, and several other pig-like animals to grow wings. Reports say that the chaos god Discord was the cause of this outbreak, which now spans over 90% of Equestria. While being virtually harmless to the creatures affected, in fact some debate that this is an improvement to the lives of the pigs. But, as you probably have realized, when you saw that really obese bird flying in the sky and you realized it was a pig, that one joking promise you made that will come into effect once pigs fly is now to be fulfilled. This is a very bad situation for anyone who has used the phrase before, such as me, for now we have to do a bunch of things you clearly never intended to do. In my case, I now owe a bunch of ponies in the studio, a lot of money, and our camera pony now has a paid leave for 6 months, leaving us with an intern behind the camera. You're doing great, Twinkle. 6 months. For Celestia's sake. No, Twinkle, don't press that button! Our final story tonight is about changelings. And since most ponies know very little about them, we will be speaking about who they are and what's happened to them of late. The question of who they are is very important, for current opinion about them means that shouting changeling in public is the equivalent of shouting the word bomb, or some more colorful phrases such as or why we're not allowed to say that. Really? Oh, those damn executives, such. If you were to say changeling in public, some degree of panic would ensue, as changelings are most known for the assault on Canterlot in the MLP Season 2 finale. For the assault on Canterlot just a few years ago. Prior to this, changelings were unheard of by any pony, with the exception of some dedicated historians and explorers. But did you know what has happened to them? There hasn't been any major invasions lately. Well, unless you lived in Canterlot, you might not know that the changelings have in fact transformed into a new form. One that, if compared to their old black, much cooler, buggy appearance, looks like a very shitty Pokemon evolution. Along with this bold redesign, changelings no longer seek to suck love from the pony population. Instead, they have found a way to produce love infinitely by loving each other. Isn't that sweet? While the changelings have turned over a new leaf, because most ponies don't know this, discrimination of the immigrating changeling population is at an all-time high. So, as part of Twilight, Princess of Friendship and Quesadillas' awareness campaign, we've decided to talk to ponies on the streets to see what they think and try to inform them. We now go to our reporter live on the scene. How you doing there, Chitter Chatter?
Oh, hi.
What is this?
Chatter's gone.
What? Why?
I think the story is that he loved his job so much, when he was asked when he would retire, he said it would be when pigs fly.
Well, then, who are you?
I'm Jittercog, the new intern.
Okay, sure. So, Jittercog, how are you doing there?
Actually, not very well. It's really cold, and I didn't bring a coat, and I think I stepped in something.
I meant, how did you get someone to interview?
Oh yeah. Right. Here I was talking to, what's your name, miss? Miss Sunnyside, darling. Who are you talking to? What's this fancy schmancy device you got there, honey? It's a microphone, miss. You're on the news. Oh, I am? I love reading the morning paper. So, what did you want to ask me, Sonny? Well, miss, by any chance, would have you have heard of, changelings? Those are the ghastly creatures. Yeah, I had a cousin whose niece was married to a changeling. Or was it my niece?
Jitter, maybe ask her what she thinks about changelings?
Oh, right, yeah, so miss, what would you say, your opinion on changelings is? Terrible. Evil things, those changelings. They attack Canterlot, you know. Should not be allowed in Equestria, in my opinion. Except my nephew-in-law. He's a delight. Why not?
Jitter, why don't you tell her about, what's happened to the changelings, please?
Oh, miss, did you know that, the changelings, are now good and friends with us ponies, and, in fact, there was a welcome ceremony in Canterlot, and, where the king of the changelings was greeted, and, what do you think about that? Sonny, you must be a bit delusional. There ain't no such thing as good changelings. All of them. Just a bunch of...
Jitter, tell her we're not allowed to say that on television.
Miss, if you wouldn't mind, watching your language, you're on the air. On the air. I'm not a Pegasus dummy. I'm an Earth pony. Also, where's that voice keep coming from? And what is a television?
You know, Jittercog, I think that's enough. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Back to you in the studio. Mic drop.
Well, thank you for watching. You can join us after the break, where we'll be giving the results for the floofiest pet in Equestria contest. Judges have been debating for weeks and finally come to a decision. Also, we will be sharing the top 10 recipes for homemade quesadillas. And join us if you would like to see how many interns get fired after the break. And now, as the traditional Hoofington saying goes, please don't leave.
And now, a message from our sponsors. Hayware's Highware Supplier, the mail service that guarantees 2-day delivery to all of Equestria with a maximum of 7 accident smashings, crushings, droppings, shootings, and magic gas beamings and fire explodings between order and delivery. Results you can't get anywhere else. Hayware's Highware Supplier. When situations are dire. Haywire Ltd.
Tonight's local news: Hoofington Founding Day Anniversary Parade of... Tonight's local news: Huffington Founding Day Anniversary Huffington Founding Day Anniversary Parade of Pride and Glory. That's so stupid. Alright,